Hi, everybody. I'm Gordy Daly, Coordinator of Activities and Heart of the Community for Moose International. I thank you for letting me in your annual convention this year, whether it be virtual or in person. I hope that you're having fun during these weird times. Today, we're going to look at the Heart of the Community quarterly report and let's eliminate common mistakes. Our objectives: look at the most common entry that is not a qualified entry, how to make those entries correctly and make them qualified, maybe, entries to never put on the report, when to fill out the report, and each unit to score superior, which we would all love to do. Looking at our Heart of the Community logo, our innermost circle, that the different colors, is Moose Heart Moose Haven, Youth Awareness, Tommy Moose, Safe Surfing, and Veterans Programs. That's our core initiatives. A qualified entry in each one in any one of those categories is worth 5 points each. Under Moose Heart Moose Haven, the most common thing that we all have is endowment, or we should have, and it's for the total for the quarter. You may have 10 entries. Some of you at this point in time have 10 entries that total $1,000 for the quarter. However, you're only going to get 5 points for those 10 entries. So the better thing to do is to make one entry and say Lodge 9999 had a total endowment of $1,000 for the second quarter or for this quarter. Never put Moose Legion endowment, district endowment, or association endowment. The reason being, the Moose Legion endowment will go to your Moose Legion jurisdiction and it'll go under them. It's not the lodge. District endowment and association endowment will be combined together and go under the association. Other items to put in there: the Cradle Fund, Rocker Fund, Mac Project, or all the projects that we do that you donate to. Donations to Moose Haven could include wish list. Same with Moose Heart. If you're completing a wish list item, please, by all means. Youth awareness. Youth awareness is youth drug awareness. It is not, it is like other items such as anti-bullying, scholarship, and more. This is not youth sports, band, dances, scouts, and etc. Tommy Moose. This is our most easiest accessible item for you to make an impact on your community. It can be the donation of each Tommy Plus doll or case or dozens of Tommy Moose, packets of coloring books, packets of bookmarks, whatever the case may be. Places to donate: hospitals, law enforcement, fire department, children's hospital, or a children's wing in a hospital. Just buying a Tommy item does not qualify. By that I mean, in the first quarter you might have bought 6 dozen Tommy Mooses, but you didn't do anything with them. And then in the next quarter you decided that you were going to donate all 6 of those cases. That's the quarter that you put in that you donated either all 6 cases or individually, or any number of up to the 6 or more if you have more on supply, to whatever it was that you donated it to. Giving to kids in the lodge. This is a very common entry. It's not necessarily a bad thing to do. However, I'm not real sure how that impacts your community. Here's a biggie, and we get this a handful of times every quarter. You cannot donate to Tommy. If you send a check in saying you're donating to Tommy, Moose Charities is going to get a hold of you, and they're also going to get a hold of your territory manager. The reason being, they want to find out what other, how you want to reclass that money that you tried to donate to Tommy Moose, and where else to classify it. Safe surfing can be a donation item, child or elderly ID event, a donation of a ballistic vest to local law enforcement, donate a cop in a box to law enforcement. All of those are excellent ideas and excellent entries. Veterans programs. This is where the most misunderstood, I guess I should say, and items that don't qualify. So let's go over those. When entering an item on the report, remember it has to be for all veterans in your community. Not just your lodge veterans. Entries that will never qualify. Veterans dinners without dispensations filed with the General Governor's Office and approved. Veterans wall in the lodge, valued veteran certificates or on the wall, or money off drinks. Remember, it has to be for all veterans in your community, not just your lodge members that are veterans or valued veteran members. Plus, pretty sure that the public cannot buy items or purchase items in our lodge. When to fill out the report. Start entering items in the report as they happen or when they occur. This way you won't forget anything. And then when it's the first of the month when the quarterly report is due, all you have to do is enter an item or a couple items that happened that last week of the quarter, hit save and submit, and then you can wash your hands of it and be done for it until the next quarter. Our companion initiatives, senior centers, children's hospital or wings in the hospital, DARE program or Red Ribbon program, both of those are drug prevention programs, emergency services, scouting, youth sports, Salvation Army, and Special Olympics at the local effort. A qualified entry in this initiative will be worth 3 points each. Under senior centers and children's hospital or children's wing in a hospital, this is your opportunity to donate books, comic books, Sudokus, find a word, crossword puzzle books, blankets, etc. All good entries. Here's a biggie. 2 members call bingo at a local senior center. Would the above entry qualify? No. Is this a lodge-sponsored event? The way it appears, or the way it is written, it appears that Bob and Joe are doing this in the name of the lodge. Now, if Lodge 9999 has an agreement with Shady Acres Senior Center that they'll supply bingo callers, piano players, group leaders, volunteer leaders, door greeters, then you would put Lodge 9999 has an agreement with Shady Acres Senior Center to supply volunteers for non-medical events. Bob and Joe, don't get mad. Glad that you went to the lodge and called bingo. Ask yourself this question. Is this a lodge item or an individual member item? If it is an individual item, don't enter it. The DARE Red Ribbon Program. Now, this is just the name of the 2 drug prevention programs. This item can be a donation-only item. However, if neither of these programs are in your area, I'm sure that there is similar programs in your area. Your local law enforcement or treatment centers can direct you in the right direction. You have to ask to find out where and how to get in touch with them. Emergency services. Donation, meals of appreciation, safe place during emergencies or natural disasters, all excellent items. Scouting. Now, it doesn't matter if the scouts use your hall for their meeting each month or several times each month. It only counts one time, just like endowment. Youth sports. Sponsorship, meeting location, meals, banquets, those are all great entries. Coaching, umpiring, refereeing, concession stand volunteers, do these qualify for credit? Well, it depends. Does the lodge supply all of the above for everyone? In other words, Lodge 9999 has a agreement with Riceville Little League that they'll supply all those things mentioned above. If not, it does not qualify. In other words, this is another Bob and Joe situation where Bob and Joe coach Little League. They just happen to be coaches of the Little League and saying it's in the name of the lodge. That's an individual item. Salvation Army. Donation box, clothing drive, or money donated. Excellent entries. Special Olympics. This is at the local level, whether it be state or in your community. Sponsorship, donation, coaching, and etc. Those are great items. Again, it's not an individual member volunteering. So Gordy can't say, I'm doing this in the name of the Moose, being a coach of a Special Olympic athlete or a Special Olympics team. Local volunteer service. Each qualified entry is worth 2 points. Do not enter individual volunteer items. I think we've covered that a little bit. Do enter items that the lodge as a whole has volunteered. By that I mean your county fairs. You worked the gate for the county fairs. You supplied volunteers to help with the Relay for Life. Items such as that. Funeral meals and celebration of life are excellent examples of things to put in under local volunteer services. Can't believe I forgot to tell you this, but do not enter individual volunteer items. I'm being a little facetious here, but I think you can see what one of the major non-qualified entries getting entered on Heart of the Community reports. Now let's look at explaining the earning of a grade of good, excellent, or superior. An explanation of a score of good must have qualified entries in 2 initiatives, whether it be core, companion, or local. Score at least 10 to 19 points. That'll get you a score of good. Score of excellent or a grade of excellent. Must have qualified entries in 2 initiatives, whether it be core, companion, or local, and score at least 20 to 29 points. A score or a grade of superior must have qualified entries in all 3 initiatives, core, companion, or local, and score at least 30 plus points. By all these I mean, now they need to be qualified entries, obviously. You just can't just write something in there. Now I want to explain another misunderstanding. You may have listed 20 items under Moose Heart, Moose Haven, and they may all be qualifying entries. So that'd be worth 100 points, but you didn't put anything else in companion initiatives, or local volunteer services. Unfortunately, you would not score a grade. It'd be a no grade because you have to have something qualified in at least 2 of the initiatives. And if you did that and wanted to score superior, you needed it in all 3 initiatives. What not to enter on the report? Not applicable, or NA, or N-stroke A. You'd be amazed at the different ways that people can write not applicable. Don't have in our area. Another thing, you'd be amazed at how many different ways they can write don't have in our area. If it should need or have an approved dispensation from the General Governor's office. Let me explain. I do spot check items that need an approved dispensation. I'll be grading. I see that this item that Lodge 9999 put down that should have a dispensation. So I'll go down to the General Governor's office and I'll say, hey, tell me about Lodge 9999. Did they put a dispensation in either for this event in this quarter or the quarter before as they were pre-planning? Most of the time, the answer is no. In fact, Lodge 9999 hasn't put a dispensation in several years. Ask yourself these questions. Is this for our members only or the community? If it's the members only, then don't enter it. Is this the lodge event supplying the volunteers or volunteering, or individual members? If it is just the members, then don't enter it. We can't say we won't. Unfortunately, it's not good to say that, like going back to that coaching Little League. Gordy's coaching a Little League team doing it in the name of the Moose. No, really and truly, Gordy's volunteering to be a Little League coach and just happens to be a Moose member. The band Bon Jovi have a saying, don't bore us, get to the course. Now, it doesn't matter whether you like Bon Jovi. I'm just using their saying as an example. Don't add fluff. Everybody has a good event. Everybody, for the most part, have similar events or items. Adding extra adjectives does not help your score. In other words, who, what, when, and how. The when's really in that quarter. So the other ones are very important. Give me the meat of the sandwich, as I say. I don't need the lettuce. Also, when you're writing down like a donation that your lodge donated $25 to Safe Surfing this quarter, that's awesome. But don't just write the number 25. At least write a $ in 25 or 25.00, because a number of 25 it can be very ambiguous, and so we need to be a little bit more exact there. Now let me explain a misunderstanding. The amount of money donated is not a factor in your grade. Wait, let me explain. Some of our associations have charity gaming, and by law they have to put so much of a percentage of what they make from charity gaming into charities. Thankfully, we have a lot of charities that we can donate to. Thankfully, Moose Charities is a charity. So they during that quarter they raised $100,000 to give to their charitable efforts. That's awesome. They worked their shoulders off to get that done. Now, let's look at another association. They don't have charitable gaming. In fact, by law, they can't have any gaming at all. But they worked their shoulders off in order to raise $1,000 that quarter. So they worked just as hard as the other example did. So can you qualify a grade on that? So we try to keep everything as equal as we can, and so that's the reason why the amount of money donated does not factor into a grade. Now, We do need to record what we donate. As y'all know, you've seen if you've been at the annual convention or read the reports, we brag on how much money that our lodges, you as members, have raised and we donated. That's something that we need to do and have to do and should do. So please continue to do that, but understand now why it doesn't factor into grade. I thank you for your time today. I realize that you still may have some questions. If you do, you can please email me at gdaily@mooseinl.org and I'll be glad to answer them. If you don't have a pen and a piece of paper today, that's okay. My email address is on the website, as well as your field staff member, whether it be territory manager, FRS, or regional manager. They all have access to my email address as well. Thank you for what you do. God bless Mooseheart, God bless Moose Haven, and God bless you.